Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake, and what we're going to make are applesauce oatmeal cookies. Now these particular cookies come out very soft, slightly puffy, but they're a cake-like cookies, and then they're filled with raisins. So let's get started. First, let's start off with our dry ingredients, and you're going to need 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. In the flour, you're going to be putting 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then with my spoon, I'm just going to stir this together and then set this aside for the moment. Next, we're going to start creaming our butter. Now, you're going to need a 1/2 cup of butter. Now you can, if you don't want butter, maybe you don't have butter, you have margarine, go ahead and use it, a 1/2 cup. I've cut it into small pieces, so I'm going to break it up with my stand-up mixer here. You could do this recipe also with a hand mixer if you prefer. And I'm just going to cream that butter and break it up. Okay. Next, what we're going to be putting in is 1 cup of granulated sugar to the butter. And you're going to stay with this, beating it till it becomes smooth and fluffy. Okay? I'm going to raise my speed a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put 1 egg, and it's been at room temperature, and then beat that together till it's all combined, and again it has a smooth mixture. I'm going to raise my speed a little. Okay, it'll start resembling a very pale yellow in color, and be very light and fluffy. Okay, so we're going to beat that just another couple seconds here, and I want to move it along due to the video. Okay, the next thing you're going to be putting in is applesauce, and you're going to need 1 cup of applesauce. I have a 1/2 cup in each one of these, but they do total and equal 1 cup of applesauce. And put that into your cream mixture and just beat that in again till you know it's well combined, it's smooth, and it's fluffy. Okay, I'm going to raise my speed a little bit here. I am going to add a couple more things to my dry ingredients. What you're going to be putting in is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you're going to be putting a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. And then I'm going to give this a final stir into the dry, and then start adding the dry to the wet. Just do a little at a time so that flour doesn't go all over. There we go. And that's forming a cookie dough. Okay. The next thing you're going to be needing, of course, is raisins, and a 1/2 cup of raisins. I'm using the dark, and I'm just going to beat those in a little bit. And the last thing we're going to put in is 1 cup of oatmeal. And let's beat that in. I'm going to raise my speed just a little bit here. And I'm going to take out my paddle. And take off my excess and set that aside. Okay, and I'm just going to bring it all together, clean the bottom of that mixing bowl. Okay, and it'll look like this. Okay, and of course you're going to need a cookie sheet or pan, and you do want to grease it or spray it, however you prefer. And then with a small scoop, I'm going to place at least these cookies 3 inches apart. Now I got about 30 cookies out of the recipe using this size of a scoop. So it'll be depending on what you use, you know, and how many cookies that you're going to yield from it. But again, I got 30 good size cookies out of it. Now you're going to bake these cookies at 375 degrees, and they could take you anywhere from 12 minutes to 15 minutes, depending on, you know, your oven. So do start checking them early, because you don't want to over bake them and for them to become very dry, that type of thing. So again, just put them in the oven. When they come out, let them sit on the tray for just a minute or so, and then place the hot cookies on a cooling rack till you're ready to plate them. Let me rinse my hands real quick. And I want to show you what these cookies look like once they're baked up. And this is how they turn out. As I mentioned, they will be a cake-like cookie. So they'll have a slight puffy top to them, as you can see on this one. They will bake up a nice golden brown on the bottom. They're a little bit crisp on the edges, but on the inside of the cookie itself, again, is a soft cookie, okay? So when you break into it, you have that nice, moist, chewy texture of, you know, the raisins and the cinnamon and the cloves. And this particular cookie smells so nice when it's baking in the oven. You know, especially because you have that flavored with applesauce, again, spiced with cinnamon and cloves. It really comes out to be one heck of a good little cookie. So give this recipe a try. If you do and you like it, leave a comment, because I'd like to hear from you. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake, and please subscribe to my channel. See you again soon.